Welcome back to Essentials, where we break down the forces shaping our world. I'm Carver Benson.
And I'm Carly Jensen. Today we're diving into an interesting one. Is there a real plan behind all of Trump's actions, or is he making things up when he gets out of bed in the morning?
Another day, another chaotic Trump decision, right? The media's freaking out, experts are shocked. But here's the thing, none of this should surprise you.
Because Trump isn't just winging it, he's following a blueprint, one that lays out exactly how conservatives plan to reshape America. It's called 2025 Mandate for Leadership, and it is published in 2023. It is also known as Project 2025. If you read it, you will recognize a lot of Trump's actions from the past 2 months. Today we're diving into its opening chapter, the Conservative Promise.
A promise sounds ambitious.
Yes, and you will see that it goes pretty far.
So, what exactly is the conservative promise promising?
In simple terms, a complete overhaul of the U.S. government, less federal power, more control to the states, and a revival of traditional conservative values.
That sounds like Reagan in the 80s.
Exactly. The document explicitly mentions the Reagan Revolution from 1981 as an example. The document states that the Reagan Revolution was a huge success for conservatives. However, this Trump revolution goes even further. It's not just about cutting government, it's about an active conservative takeover of institutions like justice, education, and the media.
So not just small government, but a targeted conservative government.
Exactly. And here's where the tone gets interesting. The conservative promise isn't just policy, it's a crusade. The language is almost combative, like they're rallying troops for a war against the progressive elite.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's not just, we need reforms, it's we need to take back our country from the corrupt establishment. That's strong wording.
Very strong. The authors of this document aren't just frustrated with Washington. They see the current system as rigged against conservatives and in need of a total purge. The neutral bureaucrats in the government need to be replaced by conservative civil servants because these not elected bureaucrats refuse to execute the president's policies.
It's not just anti-big government, it's anti-deep state, anti-coastal elites, and really anti-anyone who doesn't share this vision.
Right. The tone reflects years of conservative frustration. Decades of feeling like Washington, the media, and universities have been controlled by liberals who dismiss their conservatives' values. This document, it's payback.
Okay, so let's get into the 4 big focus areas of this document. What's priority number 1?
First, dismantling the administrative state. As I just said, the document argues that unelected bureaucrats, what they call the deep state, are obstructing conservative policies. So they want mass firings, replacing career officials with ideological loyalists.
Like we saw with Trump's Schedule F plan, turning civil service jobs into political appointments?
Exactly. Trump wants civil servants who are no longer strangling the domestic energy production at the Environmental Protection Agency, or who do not longer inject racist, anti-American A-history propaganda into America's classroom via the Department of Education, or who no longer at the Pentagon force troops to attend training seminars about white privilege.
This is what currently is being executed by Elon Musk with his Doge and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth.
Indeed. I must say that pushing back on an ever-growing bureaucracy makes sense to some extent, but it is also important how you do that. With a chainsaw or with care?
Okay, so what's focus point number 2?
Restoring traditional values. The exact title of this promise is Restore the Family as the Centerpiece of American Life and Protect Our Children. The document pushes for a more Christian-oriented government, restrictions on LGBTQ rights, and a rollback of diversity policies.
So this isn't just about policy, it's a cultural battle.
Like Trump's promises to use the DOJ against political opponents?
Yes, the document frames this as protecting American values, but it also justifies a much more authoritarian approach to governance.
For conservatives, the mediating institutions that serve as the building blocks of any healthy society are marriage, family, work, church, school, and volunteering. Family is most important.
And what is the problem with American families?
The American family is in crisis. 40% of all children are born to unmarried mothers. Growing up without a father leads to poverty, crime, mental illness, teen suicide, substance abuse, rejection of the church, and high school dropouts. The conservative promise includes dozens of specific policies to reverse the crisis and rescue America's kids from familial breakdown.
Can you give some examples of the document?
Sure, there is the need for tax measures to promote families, but it goes much further. Any use of terms related to sexual orientation and gender identity must be deleted from every federal rule, agency regulation, contract, grant, regulation, and piece of legislation that exists. Pornography needs to be banned. It is as addictive as any illicit drug and as psychologically destructive as any crime. According to the conservative promise,
Oh, wow.
yes, but there is another interesting angle. The document states that the big tech prey on children, like drug dealers, to get them addicted to their mobile phones. All the social media are specifically designed to create the digital dependencies that fuel mental illness and anxiety, to fray children's bond with their parents and siblings.
Now I understand why Zuckerberg and all the other big tech boys snuggled up to Donald Trump. They are afraid he might go after them, so they choose to kiss his ring.
Yep, it's all about self-interest.
Okay, let's turn to promise number 3. What is that all about?
That promise is called Defend Our Nation's Sovereignty, Borders, and Bounty Against Global Threats. Promise number 3 is about reclaiming full national control over borders, resources, trade, and foreign policy. By rejecting globalism, cracking down on immigration, and putting America's economic and military power squarely in service of American sovereignty.
All right, so what's the problem with multilateralism? I thought allies were good.
Not in this worldview. They see treaties, the UN, the WHO, the WTO, all of it, as constraints on U.S. independence. They want America to be free again, free to ignore climate agreements, impose tariffs, or pull funding from global institutions.
So international cooperation is out. National self-interest is in.
Exactly. It's America first in ink.
Okay, and then we have promise number 4. Secure our God-given individual right to enjoy the blessings of liberty. It is perhaps the most ideologically loaded of the 4, and it's the one that dives deepest into cultural conservatism, religious liberty, and the rollback of progressive policies. What is its essence?
At its core, this promise is about using government power to protect and restore traditional moral values, which the authors believe have been eroded by secularism, progressivism, and woke ideology. It's framed as a defense of freedom, but in practice, it's a strategy to dismantle what they see as a left-wing cultural regime in education, media, law, and public institutions, elevate religious liberty, especially for conservative Christians, eradicate diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI policies, and reshape the administrative state to reflect traditional conservative values.
So all of this is Trump implementing, and we can read it all in this document. You need no longer be surprised about what is happening. And Trump doesn't only have a plan, he's running out of time. Why the rush to implement?
The real deadline is November 2026, the midterm elections. Right now, Trump has a Republican majority in Congress, but if that shifts, many of these reforms could be blocked or reversed.
So his strategy is like a window of opportunity. If he doesn't act fast, he could lose the legislative power to push through his agenda? So, if I'm getting this right, the conservative promise is actually a battle plan, not just to shrink government, but to reprogram America ideologically.
Exactly. And the aggressive language makes it clear they see this as an all-or-nothing fight.
Given the aggressive tone, it is payback time for the conservatives in the U.S. Years of frustration come to the surface.
In future episodes of Exentials, we'll break down on the detailed policies, trade, big tech, defense, and more.
That's a wrap for today. If you found this eye-opening, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world.
And let us know in the comments, is it payback time or just good policies? See you next time on Exentials.
Bye.